Hi, welcome to my studio, or my living room, as I should say today. I have been teaching a class here locally, and my living room is much bigger than my studio. So I've moved my work table in here and working here. If you are used to seeing me weekly and wondered where I've been lately, maybe this will give you a clue. This is artwork from two sisters. I was working on a project to redo the youngest one's room. She is a recipient of a room makeover from Rooms from the Heart. She's been fighting a brain tumor, and we were able to make over her room this past Saturday. I was project manager for that, and it was a huge success, and I'm very grateful for Houston Church, who was my work team, and all those who contributed. So now I'm back in my art regular work mode, and today's video is going to be about revisiting some line drawings that I did in ink while traveling. And the first one was while traveling, and then the second one is in preparation for a trip to Italy. So two different versions of working with ink in your journal. I hope you enjoy today's video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. This is an example of drawing with pen ahead of time. I use this 00 micron 005 pen, and now I'm going to add a little bit of watercolor. You don't have to add much watercolor to give a good feel of the day. It was overcast and dreary, so I'm going to try to mix a dull bluish gray for the sky. That's pretty gray. Maybe a little more blue in there. I did not clean my palette or anything else. I'm just going to go for it. A little more blue. There we go. And water it down a bit. Don't have to worry about the trees because, again, it was overcast and there were no leaves on the trees. So that part's easy. The distance will be a little bluer in this part of the foliage in the back. I'm just going to let it just kind of blend into the sky. And then it was a little more autumny, gray, dirty ground green back there. And I don't have a picture to show you. I'm going strictly from memory, which probably isn't the best thing. But sometimes when you go from memory, you can just lay it in lightly and suggest. So I'm squeezing my water brush to soften that edge. There really wasn't any clouds, light source, because it was all kind of gray. But what I do remember is this barn was green, and it was kind of not a sagey green. It was lighter than that. You know, close enough. All right, so under here is green. This side was green. I think the door was green. And that was not. I don't remember what color it was. We'll just go with kind of a neutral brown and give that a go. Grayish color for the roof. It was a metal roof, and it's kind of a dry brush effect. And I did remember there being a little bit of shadow up underneath the green awning. Make that darker. That same color, we're going to just add just a little bit along here. That darker inside. Kind of thinking there was some white on that. I'm not really sure. I really should look up should probably look up the photo. It'll be interesting when I do look up the photo to see what it looks like. I can add a little bit of brown to the trees. Oops. My brush is a little dry. I need to squeeze up. Look, no wonder it's dry. There's no water in my brush. That's good. Okay, let's see if we'll have a little more success with this. I'm using the burnt sienna, adding the blue to make a darker brown. It's less red. So come back with the larger part of the trunks and add a little more solid. And I can do the same thing with these fence posts and a little bit of the scraggly brush there. You know, adding any little details. A little fat, probably should have. Oh, a little skinnier, but that's okay. Whoops. See, I can't remember if that was a wire fence. We'll just make it a wooden fence. I don't remember. And we'll give a little more variation in the color of the ground. Kind of looked like that's what it looked like that day. I'll add a little green up front. There wasn't a whole lot of green that day, but there was some. I want some streaking in the green to add like the look of panels. Because I know it wasn't totally smooth. That adds a little more character. And when this dries a bit, I'll add a little bit more there. So, might add a little more contrast to the sky. I'm going to turn it sideways so I can point my brush to the edge of the roof. Add a little bit of blue in here so that there's more contrast with the roof line and it shows up better. It's still a muted blue, so that should be fine. Okay, what do you think? Is that good enough? If I keep adding stuff, will it mess up? Probably. Add just a little bit of, you know, that drop, I don't know what you call it, just the little bits of remnants of what's left in the trees at the end when they've lost most of their leaves, but there's just little bitty stems and sticks showing, and when you blur your eyes it's kind of gray. I think maybe the green is too green up here, but oh, that's all right. I'm okay with it. I have to admit, when I finished painting it, I looked at it and went, oh, something's wrong. So I finally dug out the photo and realized, well, the building back here has a red roof. The slats on the green are going this direction on the side and right here. And so I repainted the directional strokes there. I added white pen to add a little detail in the railings and in the fence line. Made the fence a little darker, added in some more foliage in the background, and warmed it up. I like it so much better. Moral of the story is check your reference. The second part of this video is talking about line work that you come and revisit. And I've been focusing on where I'm going to be going in the near future and things I should practice so that when I get there, I'm more comfortable with the situation and the topics that I'm going to be drawing. This was drawn in an energy gel, liquid gel ink. I just love how it flows so easily, and I've been practicing my drawing and just experimenting with different things. Blind contour, continual line drawing has really been fun. That's my desk. But again, practice observing what you expect to see when you're going there. Start sketching it, trying to look at pelicans in a variety of different directions. I know I'm going to see shrimp boats, thistles. Well, the next major trip after that, or later this year, is Italy. So I've been looking through some videos and pictures because I've never been there. I don't have any of my own work, and just been sketching some of the buildings. And I thought, well, I want to be able to sit down and do a quick sketch of anything that's in front of me and not be intimidated by it. So with this one, I started up here, came down, did the curve, and just was trying to look at the lines that came off of what I originally started with. And note that the background back here, I barely touch the pen, and it just lets little bitty lines come off. And I know there's a lot of different pens on the market, but this is just one that I happen to have in the house. Well, yesterday when I was teaching about watercolor journaling, and we were actually working in gouache, but then I flipped to this just to say, just practice your drawing. Practicing your drawing is going to make you so much more comfortable when you're out and about. And you don't have to have all the lines perfect. I mean, they can be straight, they can be overlapping. This is actually, a little stick figure, but you can tell that it's a person. You know that there's bricks, but I didn't draw every little brick or every little rock and look how crooked those doors are, but I'm okay with that. And it's just fun, and I challenge you to practice that. Well, this was a happy accident yesterday. When I got my watercolors out and I just wanted to do a light wash, my student said, "Oh, is that a waterproof pen?" I go, "Oh, yeah." Well, I thought it was, because most of the pens I work with, Uniball I and the Micron 005, those are waterproof. And so when I came back and hit it with water, it went, oops, it isn't. So I'm just going to hit just a little bit more of it with my water brush and no water, and show you what I like. It just kind of blurs out kind of a gray. So if I wanted to, blur in some of the shadows, that would be one way to do it, because I'm usually always with the water brush. And if you have too much on your brush, you can wipe it off. So it was kind of a nice little accident that I realized that, man, this isn't waterproof, and it's okay. Well, another thing that I liked when I worked with the watercolor, I don't even know if you could see what I just did. Sorry. I'll just do it again. Okay, so like the steps, I could just go along the steps and add a little shade and shadow in there, and the shadows on this side of the building, because I can see it here. So there might be a little shadow on this. This is one of my little travel kits, and so I can just re-wet this blue and put this up here. Now this paper that I'm working on is not watercolor paper, so I do not want to flood the paper. And I don't have my picture out, so I'm doing some guessing, but there was a lot of yellowish tone buildings, so I'm just going to mix a little bit of that and just go over this real quick. So what I did like is there was a bit of the blurriness that I liked it running into the paint. It kind of gave it a mottled and old feel to it. So it's going to be different if you work with waterproof paint, but just embrace it when something goes wrong, and don't consider it wrong. I'm going to paint in the darker windows. I'll just add a couple of blue. Thought that was a different color, but that's okay. Again, embrace your mistakes. If I want to do some kind of gray tone for the ground, I can go behind this person here, and so it shows up more. I can give this person a little color to their clothing, and so what if it bleeds out? You can add a shadow. Just have fun with it, but practice pictures from where you're going. So when you get there, you'll be familiar with the scenes. If you have your own pictures, if you've been there before, that's even better, because you remember what it was like when you were there and the feelings that you got. But whether you're working from a waterproof pen or a non-waterproof pen, enjoy the art journey. Thanks for joining me today. If anything is this helpful, please like and subscribe. I so appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.